Morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today on our webinar. My name is Ahmed. I am a product manager here at SBAR with over 12 years of experience in the tech field. We're here to talk today about our webinar today, the Intelligent Defense for Remote Assets with Whiskers. Here with me here is Basil, our technical leader for the hardware. He's going to introduce himself also.
Hello, uh, Basil Karj. I'm an embedded systems engineer with 5 years of experience and currently leading the hardware part of this project. We're excited to walk you through the Whiskers and how it's transforming the asset tracking, security, and environmental awareness industries using rugged IoT.
In today's session, we'll explore the challenges industry face in harsh environments, how traditional monitoring falls short, and how Whiskers addresses these gaps with our smart, innovative platform. If you have any questions, feel free to add them in the question tab inside the webinar, and we will go over them in the QA part. Also, tune in to the end of the session, as we will have also a live demo for our dashboards that you can see. Before we dive into the solution, we'd like to talk a little bit about who we are and our company. And there is a quick video to know more about our company.
Over the years, humankind has been on the search for new technologies that simulate human intelligence in machines. Machines programmed to think and act like humans. In just the past few years, drones have become widely introduced and adopted by various businesses and governmental organizations around the world. SBAR provides a unique service in Oman. Since 2017, SBAR's forward-thinking technology has been applied across the nation, setting up a dynamic future for a wide range of clients in both the private and public sectors, providing complete solutions driven by revolutionary commercial and industrial technologies tailored to any business requirements. Our innovative solutions harness the power of artificial intelligence and drones to transform the way our clients carry out their operations with accurate and innovative technologies in different fields. Drones have been successfully integrated into surveying efforts to perform land surveys, photogrammetry, 3D mapping, topographic surveying, and more, capturing data up to 5 times faster than conventional methods. At SBAR, we will always bring you the latest technologies in the field of your work. We develop customized artificial intelligence-empowered products and solutions to address the complex needs of our clients. Using highly intelligent data management platforms, SBAR enables businesses to process, analyze, and deliver insights from aerial data accurately and efficiently. Adopting our latest solutions across industries provides a range of operational and financial benefits. SBAR helps businesses to overcome the most complex challenges. We develop and deploy our drones and AI-powered solutions to bring safety, reliability, and cost-effectiveness for all our clients. SBAR's vision is to be the leading drone and artificial intelligence-powered solution provider in the GCC, with a mission to help businesses and investors improve operational reliability and efficiency, enabling higher investment returns. Professionalism and dedication are at the heart of what we do. Our team of experts and highly trained technicians strive to deliver the very best of services and are invested in the success of every client project. Technological advancements are rapidly shaping the blueprint of how business will be conducted in the future. Businesses can, with no doubt, expect to see more process automation and efficiency, increasing productivity and helping you make better, faster decisions. SBAR.
As seen in the video, SBAR is a leading provider of artificial intelligence, autonomous systems, and drone services based here right in Oman. We were founded in a mission to build smart, field-ready technology that adapts to the rugged needs of sectors like oil and gas, mining, and logistics, delivering critical solutions across both public and private sectors. We started at 2017, seized our major contract with BDO at 2008, And by 2024, we have multiple contracts across multiple industries in Oman with a team of 150 professionals. Our journey started with drone services to software and AI and expanded into IoT systems and smart infrastructures. Today, Whiskers represents the best of that journey, bringing together reliability, intelligence, and customizations to our platform.
So at Aspar, we don't just offer products, we offer complete end-to-end solutions that operate in multiple industries. For example, one of the core services that we provide is drones, AI, IoT, remote sensing, software, and digital twinning. And keep in mind that all of our offerings are built around one common principle. It's scalability, security, and low maintenance.
Please give yourself like 2 minutes so you can actually answer to the poll that we are currently providing here inside the slides. This will give us more insights on how do you actually view the biggest challenges inside managing remote assets. Feel free to add your order of each and every item, so lack of real-time data, poor internet connectivity, or theft, and then submit it. We really do appreciate the insight. Okay. So we'll take a minute right now to talk about the problem, which is the visibility gaps in harsh environment. In sectors like oil and gas mining and logistics, real-time visibility remains a critical challenge. From isolated generators and solar panels to mobile fleets, many field assets remain off the grid, out of the sight of and out of reach. Okay. This results in unexpected downtimes, misuse, and non-compliance with the environmental and safety regulations. What needed is a solution that is resilient, intelligent, and purpose-built for the rugged deployment. So we prevent any kind of asset misuse, any delays in our operation, or a missed compliance threshold that we do have. Why traditional monitoring falls short? Basil will talk about it right now.
So when discussing traditional monitoring, usually what comes in mind in the case of defensive monitoring is, for example, CCTVs, maybe personnel, and so on. Now, I think everyone can tell what the issue with these solutions are. The first of which is, of course, you're going to need a lot of wiring, you're going to need a lot of overhead to operate these systems. And of course, you need a lot of manual site visits to go inspect your system, see if all of everything is running perfectly well and everything. Now, that's not even discussing that when we go to remote and very large scale areas, then discussing these traditional remote systems becomes it becomes not very useful, right? Because the scale is very big and you don't really have the proper access to the internet connection that you need to transmit this data to you.
So representing the solutions. So Whiskers, what is exactly Whiskers? Whiskers is a smart modular IoT platform that addresses all these limitations. Okay. But first, before we dive into what is Whiskers, we need to know exactly what is IoT.
Yeah. So IoT, as the name suggests, it talks about connecting things to the internet, right? So for example, when you have a number of, for example, assets, maybe personnel, vehicles, or whatnot, what you do is you install sensors on them. These sensors communicate with gateways using a custom protocol or maybe a specific radio band to transmit this data to you wherever you are in the world so that you're able to see it using a user interface, right? So just to go over it again, you have your sensors which collect a wide variety of data, for example, GPS, temperature, maybe air quality and whatnot. And then usually you have your device that collects all of this data from all of these sensors. This is usually referred to as the gateway. Finally, of course, this data has to be transmitted somewhere, right? And in this case, it's Whiskers Hub, which is the user interface, where the gateway connects to it through a variety of options, for example, GSM, Wi-Fi, satellite, and so on. Now back to Whiskers.
So we're back again to Whiskers, as Basil was talking right now. Whiskers is an LB1 solution. What does LB1 stands for? It stands for low-powered wide area network IoT solution with modular payloads like GPS, vibration, temperature, motion, connected through a protocol. The protocol is called LoRa at our case right now. There's many protocols for the IoT, but currently in our solution, we use LoRa because it offers us the best range inside. Okay. The system is managed through the Whiskers hub, which is a fully customizable dashboard built within SPAR. Okay. Uh, with a role-based access control, letting your teams visualize, track, and act in real time. For example, for the payloads, we do have here our current node, which is the small, which is actually the small node that was developed through many teams. This one contains, for example, it contains heat, GPS, vibration, and also motion and shock. And this is for the node exactly. The gateway is a little bit bigger. We couldn't show it inside the video, but it's the device that actually gathers this data from the node and transferring it to the Whiskers hub, which can give you like the biggest insight on your data that is coming from there. Now we're going to go for our next part, which is the system details. Also, you can have the overview here. So as we were talking, we have an example in the middle here, which is the Whiskers node. This is the one that you can see here through the video with me. This node is actually placed as an example in the right area here on an asset. At this particular case, it's a battery. These nodes will actually transmit the data to our gateway, which is the image on the left side. And this gateway is connected through a backhaul to our Whiskers hub. The backhaul could be LTE or a satellite, whatever the connection. It also supports wired connections for closed environments and everything. So for the next topic, what is our competitive advantage? Basil is going to talk about.
Yeah. So, as I said, one of the questions that we usually get asked first is what differentiates Whiskers from other IoT devices or systems on the market? And that's where we go back to our first point that Whiskers is not a product, it's not just one device, it's not just one system, it's a solution. It's an end-to-end solution, right? And for example, if you're here and operating in Oman, usually your options are tied to getting a generic device abroad or getting a subcontractor that doesn't really understand the regulatory requirements and the operational requirements. So what makes Whiskers different is, first of all, it's locally developed in Oman. That means that everything in Whiskers is engineered to satisfy all of these requirements that are specific to this country, right? For example, here we have high temperatures, we have a lot of dust in remote areas, we have strict data regulations that we need to abide by, and Whiskers is designed to satisfy all of these requirements. Now, in addition to that, because Whiskers is locally developed, your deployment options vary. You could have your devices operate with us. You could have the system deployed on your premise, and of course, we'll delve into that later on.
So in a simple terms, or what is Whiskers in a nutshell, it's a smart wireless IoT platform designed for rugged and real world environment. And to talk about it and to sum it up, there is 4 points. So the first point is it's an IoT nodes with modular sensors payloads. So no matter what is the telemetry that you are trying to send or the data that you are trying to gather or your KPIs, we have something to cater for it. The second part is we're using a low-powered wide area network in using the LoRa communication. In our testing in a real-world scenario, when you have like a clear line of sight, we could go up to 15 kilometers for each gateway, which is a very good result that we actually achieved with Whiskers in a real-life scenario. The third part, we do have like a multi-hole backway. We have LTE, Wi-Fi, Ethernet, satellite, you name it, whatever it is, your current environment, either it's actually very remote or it's a close to the city a little bit, so we can get like an LTE signal in there. We can cater to this. The last option, which is one of our best features, is the Whiskers Hub is have a customizable dashboard with the role-based access. So no matter what eyes, we can cater for this. If you have like multiple level of users, we can also cater for this. So we can design your dashboard and you can design also your access scheme for your multiple users. and we will provide this for you. Other words, in other words, now you have seen how Whiskers is structured. Let's talk about the real world benefits of that our clients is getting from buying the Whiskers from us or acquiring the Whiskers from us. First part is the increase. What does the Whiskers actually increase? Whiskers help you increase operational visibility, boost your asset utilization, and enable data-driven choices or decision making. With real-time data telemetry, you no longer have to guess what is happening on the field, or no longer that your equipment is off the grid. The second part is, what does it actually improve? It improves response time during incidents, increase equipment uptime, and support proactive monitoring. You don't have to wait for the next site visit to know exactly that your equipment is down or it's not working properly, and you can act proactively on it. What does it actually reduce? Whiskers is a very powerful tool to reduce theft, downtime, manual inspection cost. It also cut through integration complexity since we provide the full stack from the node to the dashboard in the Spark here. What does it actually also enhance? It enhances compliance by providing accurate timestamp data for regulatory report and increases transparency across stakeholders from site teams to executive decision making. So these aren't just buzzwords or keywords that we're just using here. These are measurable improvements and that drives our ROI for the companies that we deal with. You're running a logistic fleet, for example, managing a remote facility or overseeing an industry operations. We got you back. Don't worry about it. Next, we're going to talk about the use cases. Some of the use cases that we use for Whiskers, we choose to give you like only two examples, but the applications is so many we cannot actually like put it in one webinar because it will take so much time for us. So we're going to talk about our first use case, which is the theft detection at remote sites. I'll let Basil handle this and give you the information.
Yeah. So for our first use case, let's take an example. You have a number of high value assets operating on your site. Now, you have to understand that these values could not only just be high in value, they could be critical to your operations, right? So what you don't want is the theft and authorized access to these assets. So what we do is we take these sensors that we spoke of previously, the Whiskers sensors, and we install them on these assets. And what happens is if there is this asset operating in this remote area and someone tries to maybe steal it or maybe tamper with it or try to vandalize it, right? What happens is this sensor picks up the movement and reports this movement immediately to Whiskers Hub within 3 seconds, wherever the node is in Oman. Now, after you get the notification, you're gonna get an SMS, you're gonna get an email. That's when you can go to the dashboard and see the device moving in real time throughout the country using GPS. Now, of course, even in sites where there is no cellular coverage, there is no Wi-Fi, the system operates as intended because, like we said, we establish our own network that makes this possible. So here we have a number of scenarios like we spoke of previously. And for example, let's say you have an asset that's, for example, it's a solar panel and someone tries to remove it, right? Or maybe someone tries to remove a container that contains a number of assets. And you can see a lot of other scenarios here, for example, selling the asset, maybe opening an unauthorized opening of a container. All of that can be detected by our sensors and reported to the dashboard. So for example, here in scenario one, you have someone trying to remove the actual sensor from the solar panel. And immediately on Whiskers Hub, you receive a notification that the device started moving. Similarly, if you move a box that contains multiple important assets, for example, batteries and whatnot, you can see again, you get the movement immediately on the dashboard. Of course, sometimes you want to act before the opening happens. So even, for example, applying shock to the container to open it, for example, trying to break a lock, that also triggers the system. Of course, this we spoke about previously. It's trying to open the container. Similarly, the sensor detects the motion. That's how the data gets reported to the dashboard. Here you can see the movement on the dashboard. Finally, here, I think, yes. So here someone removed the asset attempting to steal it. Immediately you get a movement. And now you're gonna see they're trying to mount it on their truck to escape. And that's where the GPS tracking starts, right? The asset goes on the truck goes, and now on the dashboard you can see your battery or asset starts moving in accordance to the position of the real asset.
Now we're going to talk about our next use case, which is fixed telemetry nodes or environmental monitoring. Okay. With regulation tightening and safety standards increasing, it's critical for enterprises to monitor emissions, dust, sound levels, and hazardous gases. Okay. Whiskers allow you to do exactly that. With modular sensors payload with long range connectivity, you can deploy air quality sensors, for example, gas sensors for H2S for your hazardous places. You can also deploy acoustic sensors that can actually detect high sounds or sound pollution and get real time alerts and remain fully compliant. So our sensors will actually gather this data still using our gateway and deliver to you your telemetry in a form of a KPIs that comes inside the Whiskers dashboard. You can cater to any kind of KPI that you want to actually view. Whatever your operation emits or the regulations inside your business emits, you will be compliant to it because you will have a real-time insight on what is actually happening on your site or with your assets or with your telemetry that you are picking up from anywhere. Either you are tracking something, getting the data from someplace, getting the pressure data from your pipes, for example, getting the air quality data inside the mine, for example. We can cater to all of this with our modular payload of sensors that can be added and integrated to the system because our aim is the versatility for both hardware and software. You can choose whatever was your use case. We can also cater to this in our system because we integrate it fully from the nodes up to the dashboards again. So we'll go for the next slide and why enterprises choose Whiskers. So, or why do enterprises should actually choose Whiskers? Because we give them control, adaptability, and a peace of mind. In some of the harshest environments inside the country, it's custom built for you. Use case that is asset tracking, theft prevention, air quality, you name the use case, we can cater for this. So we give you a scalability, endurance, because it's rugged, built to withstand harsh conditions. We give you also security because it's our platform and the data is have multiple options to be hosted. It's fully secured, so we can comply with the government with the data governance rules here in Oman. We also give you the ultimate customizability, which is a dashboard to cater all business. So data means nothing without a context. For example, Whiskers Hub empowers you to create dashboards specific to your operational needs. For example, from heat maps to motion alert to environmental charts to compliance indicators, you decide what matters. You can export reports, share views with your team, drill down by asset or by region. You can do your geofencing. You can do your create your fields on the application. It's extremely easy to use. It has multiple roles access system. So we give you the flexibility that you desire right now. So we're gonna talk now about the deployment options.
Yeah. So as stated previously, Whiskers have multiple deployment options. And what does that mean? Previously, we mentioned Whiskers Hub, which is the dashboard where all of the data gets gathered, right? So for you to view. Now, usually you have multiple options of doing this. Either you host Whiskers Hub maybe in a cloud service provider abroad. Maybe you decide to do it here locally in Oman, or maybe you want a full security, full control over this dashboard. So you decide to have it on premise. You decide to have it in your company only. And that's where our options come in. First, there is the on-premise, like we discussed previously. And what that means is we come to your premise, we come to your company, and we install the dashboard there. Then the sensors, after they upload the data to the gateway, the data gets directly transmitted to your office only, not anywhere else. Now, of course, a lot of people don't have the infrastructure to support this. That's why they may want to settle for a cloud-based option, locally deployed in Oman. So what we do is we operate with a number of service providers here in the country that are authorized by the TRA. They have security certifications and everything. And we host Whiskers Hub there for you to be able to access it without needing to add a lot of overhead to your operations. And of course, whatever you choose, either on-premise or a local cloud server, they're both going to be scalable, secured, and heavily monitored against any threats or exploits.
Now, here in the slide, you can see this is a snapshot from the dashboard that we currently have for the Whiskers Hub. We're gonna have a live demo after this to actually show you how does the dashboard looks like, what does it support, some of the features inside it. Will give you like some sort of a walkthrough through it, so you can have more and more visibility on how the dashboard actually looks like. You can connect with us on LinkedIn so you can attend more webinars and stay as we are going to the end of our webinar currently right now. Connect with us on LinkedIn so you can get more information and more webinars about our services, everything related to AI, IoT, and also drones and DigiTwin. We're having an upcoming more webinars about our products. Connect with us so you can get those updates. Also, you can actually attain a certificate of attendance for the webinars. I'm going to allow this for 1 minute so people you can scan and just put your name. There's a form to it. You will receive on your email a certificate that you actually attended this webinar with us about the IoT and you got the information. I'm going to leave this here for a couple of minutes so you can actually take your time and scan this code. Now, Basil is going to share with you a walkthrough through our dashboard so you can have a more insight about it and know exactly what is this kind of features that we actually can give inside the dashboard.
You guys, I'm sharing my screen now to give you an overview of our dashboard. Is it clear to everyone? Can you guys confirm if you can see? All right. So when we first come and we deploy Whiskers Hub for you, this is what we're going to be met with. Of course, the dashboard consists of a number of apps. Each are targeted at uh, specific use case, right? So for example, here you have your network monitor, which is able to show you all of the assets currently deployed on your site, and not just one site. Here you can see all the sites that you have deployed with. For example, here we just have an example where we drew a border around our premises here, and we added a example battery device and an example gateway. So for example, here you can see a number of statistics like the location, the speed, and the direction. Now, as stated, this is just an overview that shows you a little bit of everything. Now, if you want to dig deeper into what's currently happening in your system, that's where you go to your devices list. And then, for example, I want to check up on my battery, right? And so here you're met with a dashboard. This one was created to monitor, for example, the current battery level, to monitor its operational temperature in case it's spiking out of control. And you get a number of other parameters. For example, here you have your activity. As shown previously in the demo videos, if the assets start moving, then it will show moving. It will alert you. It will show you, for example, if there are any errors, it will show you if the asset is going far away from your gateway. And of course, here you also have your device map, which will show you where the device is and if it exited the field or not. And finally, you have your recent activity here on the left, which shows you a complete timeline of everything that happened until now. Now, of course, when discussing large operational areas, usually you would like to into smaller fields that are easier to manage. That's where the field app comes in. For example, here we have a field called the Square Office, like I said, but maybe I want to create another one, but let's say I have a battery in a warehouse, right, somewhere else. So what I would do is I would come here and it would give me a map, right? And with that map, I can, okay, let's say we created a new location called warehouse, correct? And let's say we give the field a specific color. Then we can look for example, let's say is our warehouse is located at the airport, right? So we just type it here. I get the location for the airport. Okay. I use the map to look, for example, for my warehouse. For example, let's say this is it. Then I simply use the drawing tool to draw a boundary around my field, right? And it's as simple as that. Then save, and that's it. You have your new field created. And then what you can do is go back and maybe reassign some of your devices. Maybe this battery was moved from the office to the warehouse. Now simply I can just change this field, the assigned field, and immediately the node gets relocated to the new location that you requested. We can position it wherever we want and then save. Now if we go back to the network monitor, you'll see the entire overview of all of your fields. Here we have the office, here we have the new warehouse that we created. Let's say maybe we have a lot of assets. We want to filter them. We only want to see what's happening at the airport warehouse. So simply using this tab, you just go to the warehouse, and now it's only showing the assets that are currently deployed there. Finally, we have a very strong notification management system. So let's say you started your deployment, all of your notifications from all of the devices and assets will appear here on your dashboard, right? And what you can do is maybe you could download an entire report of what's happening. You can choose the months you want the report to include and so on. Now, of course, Ahmed spoke multiple times about the role access control. And what that means is that you can have multiple types of users using the same dashboard, each with their own access requirements. Like, for example, let's say I'm the asset owner, then I should be able to see that asset. Let's say I'm the field manager of this entire field, then I should be able to see this entire field. So here you would create your users, you would assign them devices and whatnot. Of course, you could also customize the delivery options for each personnel. Like, for example, here we have our fields. Let's say I'm a top level manager, I'm overseeing a lot of fields, right? If I receive a lot of notifications, I'm gonna get overwhelmed. Maybe I'm just gonna pick the devices that are in the SPAR office, right? Maybe I'm gonna pick all of them. And then I can specify what types of updates I want to receive. Do I just want to receive information? Warnings, for example, if the sensor that I have installed is going into low power mode, or maybe I only want to receive notifications of any danger, like if the asset was moved or it exited the operational field. And finally, like we said previously, we have a number of delivery options. You can have it through email, SMS, and we have WhatsApp support coming in soon as well. And that should be about it, you know. Thank you guys for your time.
So, to wrap this up, Whiskers is more than just an IoT solution. It's an industrial grade platform that provides insight, security, and peace of mind, adapting to your use case, not the other way around. Now we're gonna be open for the questions. So inside the webinar, you can find the question tab, the Q&A tab. Feel free to add your questions. We're gonna allow like 3 or 4 minutes for the people to add their questions, and we are gonna answer them all, inshallah. So we're gonna start answering all the questions. Okay, here. So, what are your minimum requirement to deploy the solution? If I get the question straight, the requirements that we want to deploy the solution is if you come to us with your problem, okay? So let's say, for example, you have an issue of a theft, and this is, for example, it could be many problems. So you would come with for us. Our team will professionally assess the location and everything, and we will provide you for an end-to-end solution. So there's not actually like a minimum requirement for us to deploy the solution. No matter what is your case, we can cater to that, if I get the question correctly. Uh, so it depends on your requirements, but there is no minimum requirement that we can deploy the solution for when we started testing it. It was just like one gateway and two sensors, and that's it. When we started testing it on the field side. Now we are going for a more upscale with our clients. We have multiple clients right now, and we have other clients that is coming inside the pipeline. So I don't think we do have like some sort of a minimum requirements. Whatever your case, if your case, we'll have a study for it, and then we'll provide you for a full end-to-end solution for it. Second question is, what is the efficiency of the SBAR system? We're actually aiming for the maximum uptime. So in our POCs, on our testing and with our clients, we're kind of reaching like a 98% of our uptime. In the first deployment, we had some small false positives, but this is actually at the beginning when we were just testing, but with tuning those false positives like disappear. Like for example, if there's a high wind or a high wind speed, it can actually affect the motion sensor. So this is really actually considered like a false positive. So you can get like some sort of an alert that is something is shaking your assets or moving it, but it's just like high speed wind. So we do optimization afterwards after we deploy the assets until we reach like the maximum optimization part and we reach for the maximum uptime. How do we ensure that the uptime is happening? For example, our gateways are actually connected to a solar panel and a battery inside remote places. Let's say that the place doesn't have any power, so we connect to a battery powered solution with a solar panel. In case if that solar panel actually also cut down, we have an internal battery inside the gateway that will last for a couple of days, and it will give you notification that the power is down. So we ensure that there is no downtime whatsoever. For the connections inside places that we can just pick up like 3G inside, we don't require that much for the connection. We go for it. If there is no connection whatsoever, we have multiple solutions. We can use point to multi-point to give internet for like high distance location, and we also have satellite options. So both of them are actually available for us. What is the pricing model for the solution? Again, it depends on the use case itself, because there is no specific use case that we are treating currently in Whiskers. Depending on the sensors, the number of users, and how do they actually want the notification. And there is multiple tiers of prices. You can just inquire with us and we will give you the pricing for it. But because there is a high versatility in this solution, we don't have like a specific pricing structure that we go for each and every time. Depending on your use case, you come to us, we do the assessment. How many sensors, how many users, what is the type of the sensor? Do you want it to be EX proof or not? Depending on your operation, because we have EX proof options also for our equipment. Do you want it? Do you care that it is IP68 certified or not? This will actually affect the price of enclosures. So this will also affect all the aspects of the pricing. Uh, Have you deployed? Can we just check because we have a lot of questions again. So, what happened if the device go far away from the gateway? It will actually disconnect, but it will tell you the speed and the direction of the last remaining point that it's actually happened. So this example is going outside the perimeter. It will give you the last exact point on that is left, and what is the direction also that it was going to. So I'll give you an exact direction that speed is going to, so you know exactly how is the assets is going to be removed from the place. Do you have any Whiskers deployed in the oil and gas for measuring wells parameter like pressure and temperature? For this specific use case, we don't have, but we can actually do the assessment for it and go for it, because the sensors are actually currently it's easy to procure some sort of like a specific sensor for it. If it's out of our arsenal, we can procure and integrate it within our system. So we have some stuff that is actually designed and manufactured for us, okay? And there is other stuff that we can procure to order. So we can just assess the use case itself. We can procure the sensors for you. Our team will do the site visit, and we can actually go for it. Can we link with Whiskers to our existing asset database and control? So, can you just rewrite the question? Do you mean that you want to actually receive the telemetry from us and then you integrate it like we provide an API for you? or what kind of integration? Because if you're talking about API, we can provide an API with the data. That's extremely cool for us because we do the whole development here section inside our company here. So we can give you the dashboard. We can give you an API that is actually transmitting the data to your side, and you choose what you do with it. Have you deployed to consumers? Just businesses so far, not to consumers. We're just like currently with businesses right far. We didn't actually like deploy it to like consumer level, or we didn't give it to that level yet. We're just with the businesses currently right now. What is the frequency range of measurement from the sensor? Can it be changed while it is operational? And how about battery autonomy? Do you provide guarantee for no data loss? Uh, I can of the first three parts, Basil will give you like an answer for it. The last part, do we provide guarantee for no data loss? All the packets are actually like recorded in our system. Basil will also can give you like a more info about it because it was more
So
on the technical
regarding
side.
the first question, what is the frequency range of measurement from the sensors? I'm uh, I'm gonna assume that you mean how the interval, measurement interval, which is how many times, let's say, you take a measurement per hour or maybe per day. And regarding that, it is customizable. You know, you could go from maybe a couple of seconds to an hour or a day or two. You know, it depends on your use case. How many times do you want the measurements to happen? Can it be changed while it's operational? Now, of course, Whiskers is always in active development. We add new features, we add new functionalities to it, and having a remote configuration is on our roadmap where you'll be able to configure this behavior remotely from your dashboard soon. And I guess the last question will be answered by Ahmed.
So do you actually provide guarantees for the no data loss? Because all your data is gonna be camera muted, sorry. So all your data is actually going to be recorded, and we have an offline mode, for example. So if there is like a slightly disconnection here, once it's back online again, it will emit all the data. We didn't face this situation before in our testing with our clients, but we do have the support of an offline mode inside. Okay. So the next question is if you can please elaborate more on the live tracking and monitoring. What does the specific tools and softwares are being used? And do you have backup plans of the object losses connection to the primary line? So, for example, we do have a node here. I do have a node here, for example, that this is the size of it. It's like approximately to a credit card size that we actually use to mount it to the assets. You can have a smaller than this one, but it will somehow affect your battery life. But it is something that we do actually attach it to the asset, and we watch the asset 24/7, and we have also it becomes active if there's any kind of event that actually made an impact to that kind of asset. So for movement, shock, high temperature, we have all sort of notifications for that. The software is our software, is the Whiskers Hub. We cater to you. We check what is your KPIs and everything, and we develop if there is a slight modification, customization that you want specifically to be done for you. We can cater for this, and we support this model inside our company. What is the backup plan if the object losses connection to the primary line? We have multiple stuff because when we actually deploy a Whiskers, you don't just have like one gateway. We do like have a complete network of gateways. So it's more likely that this will not happen. The only thing that this can happen is you actually like the battery life goes down, but you also get notifications if the battery life goes down. And for the battery life, we have multiple options that can support multiple years. So you don't have to worry about this. The Whiskers supports human tracking and health monitoring. It's currently inside our pipeline, and we are invested on it. And we are currently doing this in the R&D using multiple stuff. For example, for indoor monitoring, we're still also in the R&D, and for the outdoor monitoring, we're still also doing that. And we're checking if we can also get vitals and go to that area. But it's still in the R&D, and we're not far from it. Like in a couple of months, we can give an update on our page that this use cases included with us, and we can have it right now. Now for the last questions in the chat tab, do you have Whiskers deployed in oil and gas wells? We have Most of our clients are inside the oil and gas. Like ISPAR primarily caters for people inside the oil and gas mining and also logistics. We have a long-term relationship with all the big players inside the oil and gas industry here, and those are actually our most valuable clients, and those are the people that we cater to and deploy to primarily. If there's something outside, if your use case are outside the oil and gas, we still also support this, and we have no issues going to that. Is there is any questions again? Because I cannot see any new questions added or anything.
That's it.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us on the webinar here. I hope you guys had all the information about our solution on how Whiskers can give you visibility and also can give you the operational awareness that you deserve to enhance your business and have a better decision makings. Okay. Uh, don't forget, actually, guys, to tune into our SPAR social media pages, Instagram, on LinkedIn. We have all our new news coming there. We have upcoming webinars to new uh, solutions, like our other solutions regarding the drones, for example, and also for DigiTwin. So tune in for this. You can find also right now on the Spar page, we're currently promoting for the DigiTwin webinars. So don't forget actually to tune into this also, because it has multiple benefits to your operation. Thank you so much for your time. And I would like to thank also my team here and the whole company for it. Okay. And we'll talk again soon. Goodbye.